Soumillon, yellow with the blue chevron. Maybe one more to head in. Here he comes. And that is Hayit. So we are all set at the 1600 metres of the Saudi Derby. And not the best away for Ever Young, just had to be rousted along. The US sandwich broke better on his inside and outside, and Forever Young just nudged along early, is going to have to do it the hard way here, as out on the lead, Ajwadi in company with Hayit are one of the first to show. Also moving forward in the early stages is Setup for Japan. That horse is just being tracked through by Salam Al-Khair. Forever Young's now got clear daylight, just inclined to lug out to the right slightly, as Ben Tonato makes ground now up on the outside. So Ben Tonato disputing it with Setup, and on the inside Hayit. They're being followed through in fourth place by Ajwadi, and then behind these we have Salam Al-Khair. Oasis Boy in midfield. Forever Young is three back, or three wide on the outside, following Bookham Dano at this stage with Sotono Phoenix. One that's struggling to lie up is Saudi Naom as they make the turn, and it's Setup who has the lead from Ben Tonato in second, Bookham Dano in third. Now Forever Young begins a sweeping move on the outside of Ajwadi as they make their way with Hayit as they straighten. Ben Tonato the first one to commit. Behind these Bookham Dano, the Americans go 1-2. Now Forever Young is forced to dig in because he's given them a three-length start at the top of the home run. It is Ben Tonato and Bookham Dano. Forever Young at this stage is flat. He's got 3 lengths still to find, 300 metres to do it as Bookham Dano moves through to lead for Irad Ortiz. Now Forever Young belatedly beginning to pick up. Bookham Dano needs the line now as Forever Young surges on the outside. Bookham Dano, Forever Young is coming. Bookham Dano all out. Forever Young dives and may have got it in the final bound. Forever Young and Bookham Dano could go either way here. Ben Tonato back in third place. Bookham Dano paddling late. Forever Young took an age to get going, but in the final bound may just have got up. Forever Young, if you were a supporter, you aged in the run, but you may have got the prize.
Oh yes, for the second year in succession, the Saudi Derby has given us an international thriller. Forever Young started slowly. Has he come home in front? He has for Japan. And for Ryusei Sakai, it was nearly all over at the start. Bookham Dano has laid it all out there, has run his heart out for Derek Ryan and Irad Ortiz. Heartbreak for them. A sigh of relief, no doubt, for Yahito Yahagi and Ryusei Sakai. Forever Young, strike one for Japan in the Saudi Derby. How did he do that?
How did he get there?
How did he do that?
A bad start, far back, laboring, being encouraged, and you're saying, okay, first start is a 3-year-old, maybe he'll move forward, something to build foundation on, and on the outside just keeps grinding. Bookham Dano, Michelle, I thought he was home. He's looking for the wire, and Forever Young on the outside, relentless by a flared nostril in a thrilling Saudi Derby. Wow.
I'll tell you this, when you go back and you watch Forever Young's last race, he had an issue switching leads, in my opinion, and he didn't really thunder home until he did. He doesn't switch leads here either.
Glory for Forever Young, heartbreak for Bookham Dano. Here's his trainer, Derek Ryan, with Ollie.
I mean, that was some horse race. I know, Derek, you've come out on the wrong side of the photo finish, but my word, you must be proud of him.
Yeah, here in the cracker. What can I say?
Did you think crossing the line that you might have hung on?
No. I seen the photo finish there. At the 8th pole, I thought I had it. I wish he was a little closer and seen him. I think it might have helped.
If someone said to you, I mentioned in the interview before the race, humble beginnings for your lad. If someone said that you'd be doing this with this horse when he first came to the barn, what would you have said?
I wouldn't have believed it.
What's the plan with him now?
We'll probably ship him back to the States and probably go for the Pate Mile.
I can see the emotion. You should be incredibly proud of everything you've achieved here. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Okay.
Oh, so close for Derek Ryan.
Pate Mile, though, that's a really realistic spot for him. 1-turn mile at Churchill on the Derby undercard.
A lot of class that we just learned about Derek Ryan doing that interview in that moment. That was a brutal defeat in a $1.5 million race.
$600,000 the difference between first and second prize money. But that man there has come up smelling of roses, and here he is with Tom.
Yeah, there's a fine line between glory and despair, and Yoshito Yahagi once again tastes glory. Huge congratulations. What were you thinking throughout the race?
まずはおめでとうございました。レース中どのように感じられてましたでしょうか。
ちょっとスタートを失敗したので、それと外枠だったので外を回されて非常に厳しいレースだったなと思います。
He didn't have a good start. He was wide out, and it was a tough race, but he ended up well, so we're very satisfied.
What does this tell you about your horse? The fact that he could overcome the start and go past and win.
スタートが悪かったですけれども、それをしっかりと乗り越えて結果を出せたことについてどのようにお考えですか。
キックバックが嫌だったので、出していったんですけども、それにしても強い競馬だったなと思います。
He didn't want the kickback, so the jockey kept him wide out, but still he had a very good performance, so very happy about the performance.
And he's making his way back in, but is he the type of horse, Yoshito, you would want to send to America?
アメリカに連れて行きたいとお考えでしょうか。
このレースにケンタッキーダービーのポイントがないのは残念ですけれども、行きたいなと思っています。
Unfortunately, this race does not count for the Kentucky Derby selection, but of course we look forward to take him to the U.S.
Here he is, Yoshito. More success for you. Well done.
ありがとう。
Yoshito Yahagi, and somewhat inconclusive there as to whether we're going to get this horse on the Kentucky Derby trail. We look forward to sending him to the US, suggests that we will.
Well, that could have been just like a lost in translation situation, right? When we're asking, hey, does this make you think he could be Derby? And he's like, well, maybe, but it doesn't count. So there's a big difference. When you're trying to get into the gate of the Derby, you have to earn points to be able to get in there. It's not just like because he won this and because you want to go, you get to go.
And he won, but he made mistakes.
Constant
not
mistakes.
Getting out of the gate, right? Needing to be encouraged. And in the stretch, as Michelle mentioned, not switching back to that right lead. The length of the stretch, he still has a lot of maturing to do. All the credit in the world for gutting out the win, but it was a flawed performance. And when you're talking about Kentucky Derby prospects, you're going to look at them from a different lens.
Also, when you're talking about a horse that didn't like the kickback, what are you going to do in a field with 20 horses kicking out at you? There's no shot you're going to be going 9 wide down the Churchill Downs backside.
Look, I was a big fan. I love this is an exciting race, but I'm less confident about him as a Derby prospect after the race. Even in victory, we'll see what he does in his next start.
Look, when he switched his leads in the juvenile race, he had a whole nother gear. If we can get that lead change earlier, he might have a lot more and he could still be as exciting as he was beforehand. But he does have a lot of things to overcome.
But he still wins, and he remains undefeated. And Sakai, there's a celebration. He won 2 races on this night. Last year, backed out Leon in the 1351, wire to wire in the Saudi Cup with Panthalassa for Yoshito Yahagi. He refused to lose. You appreciate that, but lots of room to improve.
Just 26 years old, the winning rider. He's 7 victories at the highest level, which is very difficult to do in Japan. The racing is so competitive, and his big ride later on Lemon Pop is not without a chance. It could just be getting started for Ryusei Sakai and Yoshito Yahagi, who have taken a dramatic Saudi Derby.
The Bookham Dano team.
He's right here, walking behind us.
Ryusei Sakai now is with Ollie.
One day I'll be him, I hope. But Ryusei Sakai is alongside me. We're going to make our way over to the podium. Congratulations. That must have been exciting to ride in.
Yeah, thank you very much. I thought to lose, but he trained very hard. He knows everything what to do. He's very special horse.
What were you thinking after you broke very slowly?
So, look, the American horse is very quickly. So, I was very confident. No, just his reason.
He's tough. He stayed on really well.
Yeah. He's like machine, special horse.
Now, it's a great start to the day for you. I must ask you about Lemon Pop. Does he have what it takes to win the Saudi Cup?
Yeah, I'm looking for Lemon Pop.
Ryusei, well done. Enjoy the presentation.
Well, so nearly this race was lost at the start. In the end, Forever Young has won by a clear head. That's the official margin. I'd have been selling it ahead when they passed the post. If Richard Hoyles finds it a struggle to split him, I'm amazed it was ahead. But that's the official
It looked a lot
distance.
closer than that.
It looked a nose.
Maybe even though breaking slow was a mistake, it might not have been the worst thing for him because we had Ben Tornado going out there quickly. This horse might not have wanted to go that quickly here off the layoff. I mean, we saw him press the pace in Japan, but U.S. speed's a little different.
Let me ask you something. Do you think that was Bookham, Dano, just tiring late and coming up small when it mattered most, or did Forever Young go out and get him?
No, I think Forever Young went out and got him. I know was slowing down. I think Bookham Dano was maintaining. He didn't have an extra gear, but like Derek said, if he had seen him, he might have dug in a little bit more, because if you saw him once he passed the post, he stuck his ears up. That horse was not an exhausted horse by any means.
He was ambushed.
Yes.
Never had a chance to respond.
All righty. Now the trophy presentation. Northern Racing, huge influence on Japanese bloodstock. Bred this colt by Real Steel. It only feels like 5 minutes ago that Real Steel was running.
I know.
So Suma Fujita, the winning owner, Yoshita Yahagi and Ryusei Sakai, who, as it turns out, speaks rather good English.
It's a tall rider.
Yeah.
It's a really tall rider.
He did incredibly well. There was just a moment of this race where I thought you saw all the horse's talent, where he could have easily backed out early, and then he snapped back right hard on the bridle, taking a hard hold of the bit about 3 furlongs from home, and you thought, yeah.
I think that might have been when he moved out of the kickback, right? So if he was a little bit resentful for it, that made him come off the bridle once. We haven't seen a replay yet, but hearing that and then thinking of the way he ran, it was once he got in the clear, then he was like, okay, I can do this.
Precisely. And that is exactly what we're going to be showing you. We'll give you the full story of the Saudi Derby when you rejoin us in a few moments.